Good evening, everybody. I'm Eric Burleson. I'm the state senator for this area, and I'm so proud to be your state senator. And we've never had a better time than right now for Southwest Missouri, especially politically. You know, it's wonderful to see our values, the values of self-reliance, of a community that respects God, that respects our country, and really wants to be active in the community and respects charity as well. There's never been a better time to have those values reflected in our state and in our nation than today. And so I'm really excited about some of the things that have been happening in Jefferson City and wanted to relay those to you. At the top of the list is really a focus to empower and enable small business owners, and what that entails is making sure that they don't fall prey to needless and unnecessary lawsuits. This year we were able to pass a very successful tort reform measure that individuals are not brought into courts in other parts of the state. A lot of times the plaintiffs would be able to use a measure that would bring the defendant, a small business owner or any business, into an entirely different area of the state just so they could pick that venue so they would have a better outcome and better success. And we were able to make sure that that's not a factor. One of the bills that I filed has to do with slack fill. You know, when you go to the store and you buy a bag of M&Ms or a bag of chips, you expect, as any normal person, that there will be air in that bag because of the cushion in order for it to be packaged correctly. But greedy trial attorneys saw that the cushion as an opportunity to sue almost every product that you see on the shelf. And at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit us, the consumers. It only benefits the pockets of the attorneys. I'm proud to be a sponsor of a bill that really protects the life of a newly born child, especially those children that were born as a result of a failed abortion attempt. You know, regardless of the way in which people come to this world, I believe that their life, especially a child who's taken breath in this world, should be upheld. Now, I further believe that a child in the womb should be protected as well. And so I'm proud to say that Missouri passed this year one of the strongest pro-life measures in the United States, because at the end of the day, the life of a child, especially the most vulnerable, is something that we should be protecting and upholding. And I'm proud to say that we finally passed Haley's Law. You know, this community was shaken when Haley Owens, on the day that she was kidnapped and murdered. In that process, we had to really examine what happened, and I think we've discovered that a system really failed Haley that day and her family that day. So for the last few years, I've been working on a measure to try to fix that system, that broken system, and make sure that the Amber Alert system is responsive, that it's timely, and that there's not a lot of unnecessary steps in that process, and that we are able to get that information out as quickly as possible. We've really learned from that process, and I'm proud to say that we were able to pass Haley's Law this year. Our small businesses are extremely important in Southwest Missouri, and we want to make sure to empower them and strengthen them any way we can. We were able to make sure that the burdens on individuals and small businesses when it comes to our taxes is lightened as well. And so I'm proud to say that we continue to see a decline in income tax rates over time, and yet our state budget is getting bigger and bigger. So that's really great for individuals because all of us are able to take home a little bit more each week in our paycheck. That money is spurring the economy. The state coffers are not suffering. So we're seeing increased activity in our state. We're seeing increased gross domestic product. And because of that, the state of Missouri's budget is higher and better than we've ever seen it. So we reached record expenditures this year, and that is really something that we should all be proud of. And finally, as someone who's a person of faith, I was proud to sponsor a measure that really protects students, especially our students of faith, while they go to college. You know, unfortunately, we have encountered a culture that wants to attack people for having personal faith, and especially a culture that unfortunately wants to attack people who have a minority perspective. And so we've never had a more important time than this to protect people for their First Amendment rights and their free expression of their religious faith. Again, for me, this is my first year as a senator. I I'm so honored to be able to serve this community, one that I am from, one that I grew up in, and one that my family is proud to be from. And it has been a tremendous honor, and I look forward to humbly serving you in the years to come. Thank you.
Good evening, Nixa. My name is Ralph Phillips. I'm our presiding commissioner at Christian County. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of our community. To begin with, I'd first like to thank the leaders, citizens, and stakeholders of Nixa for making a transition for me personally as I resume my role as presiding commissioner. Your openness and your hospitality has made the transition so much smoother, and for that I'm very grateful and thankful for that. As we all know, we are the fastest growing community in the state of Missouri and have been for several years consecutively. With that comes the challenges associated with our infrastructure, business development, and other associated factors. I know with the leaders that we have in Christian County as a whole that these challenges will be met in a very professional ways. Our goal at the county is to be the leader in the state of Missouri as county government goes, a challenge that I feel very confident we will achieve through transparency and compliance. Christian County established a record this year with their financial audit. Our audit was 100% compliant with no recommendations, only commendations, and that's due to the efforts of our team. An issue we were having is our sales tax is flat. We all know about it. It's a statewide issue and maybe even a national issue with the online sales. One of the things that we've established is the Show Me Christian County, or technically known as the Christian County Business Development. I feel that this organization is going to be the critical element for our success as we meet these challenges to keep up with the lack of sales tax revenue. And please keep in mind that when we have growth, most of our growth is single-family dwellings. For infrastructure, more than 80% of our revenue to keep up with the infrastructure is based on sales tax. So there's a little bit of miscommunication that when people build houses, we benefit from taxes, and we don't to the degree that we need to. Other issue we're faced with this year that's critical will begin in 2020 with our 2020 census. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of this census. We were unreported the last time, and the impact that has on the taxpayers and the citizens of the county are huge. I'm so thankful for the schools that we have in our county. We are so blessed, and that is based on our community supporting our school districts. And with the recent national reviews of our education system being ranked in the top nationally, some of the things that we will see impact on our community will be the Riverside Bridge. I'm proud to announce that we've all worked closely with the other entities of the Riverside Bridge, and the impact it's going to have in our county is huge. The bids are out for that, and I'm hoping this time next year or shortly after we can be driving across that bridge. So in closing, I just wanted to say how proud I am to call myself a Christian County resident, but also how thankful I am that we have the leadership throughout the county that we have.
Good evening, Nixa. My name is Andrea Sites, and I serve as the President and CEO for Show Me Christian County Economic Development. Many of you know what that is, but for those of you that are not familiar, this effort actually started in 2013 when the municipalities of Nixa and Ozark combined with their respective chambers and Christian County government pooled their resources to look at how Northern Christian County specifically could remain viable into the future. And the number one recommendation that came out of that study was forming this central organization, speaking as one voice. And it's actually benefited our entire county because now I make sure that we cover areas from Billings all the way to Sparta and Chadwick, and I personally live in Highlandville. Please do me a favor and wave to that table sitting there in the room, because there's a whole group of Ozark leaders that are invested in our success as a region, and they made it a priority to be here and support the Nixa State of the Community Dinner. One of the things that I tell folks is that the fact that my organization exists to begin with is a true testament to how far we've come in working together collaboratively. You know, when you look at a map, you pull up your computer and you pull up Google, you'll see a region, a beautiful region with great natural amenities, wonderful resources to the north and to the south. And what we often do sometimes in working in communities and municipalities, we put boxes around ourselves. And that is what the leaders that came together to form Show Me Christian County decided that we were going to do no longer. As you just heard Commissioner Phillips speak, the majority of the revenue that comes into our municipalities for those vital services, that number can be deceiving because on average, between 75 and 80% of our residents leave the county every day for work. So my job was created, again, by these leaders to specifically focus on our economic development. So what is economic development? Well, traditionally it was chasing smokestacks and trying to get jobs and capital investment. So to answer the call for supporting our existing businesses, Show Me Christian County is taking the lead on what we call our Show Me Strong Business Council. And this is a business retention and expansion initiative in partnership with our municipalities and our chambers of commerce to make sure we connect our business leaders with the resource partner network that we have available to them. This is a council of 10 individuals. One of the sayings that we have in our office at Show Me Christian County is that progress isn't always pretty, but we make it look good. And here in Nixa, we do a really great job of that. It is an honor to serve you and an honor to serve this county. Thank you for having me this evening, and God bless.
My name is Lloyd Wallace, and I'm currently the Deputy Chief of the Nixa Fire Protection District. As of January 1st, 2020, I will become your new Fire Chief after Chief Trent's last official day on December 31st, 2019. As Chief Trent prepares for his retirement from the fire service, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to him and his family for their service to the community over his 27-plus years of service. I know there were many missed family events and milestones throughout his career, and our job would not be possible without a supportive and understanding family at home. Chief Trent, thank you for your service. In 2019, we have fulfilled last year's promise of additional firefighters in the stations. 3 new personnel started at the beginning of 2019, with 2 of the 3 having prior military experience. As mentioned last year, grant proceeds from a late 2018 grant paved the way for these firefighters to be brought on a few years sooner than expected. Grant proceeds cover a portion of their wages and benefits for the first 3 years of their employment, allowing the growth of the community to increase our budget to be able to sustain them. Growth in our community is what drives growth in our organization. We want to be here to adequately serve the community in your time of need, and to do so requires personnel to meet that mission. Additional growth in our organization has also prompted other changes. Administrative Assistant Athena Fitz will be transitioning to a new role as Human Resources Manager, and we will be hiring a new receptionist for our front office. In 2020, the Fire District will employ a total of 40 full-time employees. Planning for future growth is a continuous and ongoing process. We will continue to provide personnel that are well-trained, well-equipped, and ready to respond to the needs of our community. I look forward to working with our community stakeholders in my new role as Fire Chief and hope to see each of you around town soon.
Well, first and foremost, we cannot start a review of the past year without thanking this community, our leadership, and of course, all 430 of our outstanding members for their continued support of the Nixa Chamber of Commerce. As we all know, Nixa has a very vibrant and diverse business community. Our service sector, like banks, attorneys, dentists, and such, are stronger than ever. With our estimated population approaching close to 25,000, and with our little higher average median income, most of those types of businesses do very well. Our restaurant businesses, for the most part, are strong too, and we've had some new businesses come into town this year, which has been exciting. Now, some of the lunch crowds are a bit less at times. However, dinner numbers appear to be strong for the most. Now, retail is still struggling outside of some of the bigger stores like Walmart and Nixa Hardware and so forth. It's a struggle for them to compete with Springfield, Branson, and online sales. And the fact that we are still lacking in a variety of choices just causes people to go somewhere else. And however, that's beginning to improve as well. In the commercial or industrial sector, we are still looking for that next opportunity to explore Nixa. We do have some new commercial space that is going to develop soon along Highway 160, and with the improvements coming to Highway 14 in the next couple of years, this should spur some new opportunity as well. As far as your chamber, we've had the amazing fortune to really impact our community in so many ways. Your chamber has and always will be a great resource for businesses to connect and help grow their organizations. We've had several events all year long to help support that part of our mission too. Also, we've been focusing on another key aspect that is also a chamber's major role in its business community. And that is being the business advocate and being present and active when it comes to representing our business community at important meetings and events such as city council meetings, economic development meetings, and conferences. We're also very involved in the Nixa downtown revitalization efforts, Nixa Public Schools, and of course work hand in hand with Show Me Christian County. This time last year, we were in the beginning stages of taking over a little event called Sucker Days, right? Which involved into the Nixa Sucker Day Music, Arts, and Crafts Festival. Now, we had a vision on how we could include so many organizations to help make this a success for Nixa. And with the help of 2 Nixa High School seniors and so many others in our community, we were able to take that vision and make it happen. And man, it was fun and it worked. Both Friday night, the parade, everything, all day Saturday was absolutely a stellar turnout. And it was so much fun, and the feedback we received from the community was very positive. Now, the success of Sucker Days also allowed us to give back a total of $8,900 back into the community. That included disbursements to scholarships for Nixa students. We helped support downtown revitalization, and we had prizes for our Nixa art and music students. Next year, we're adding a new scholarship program in honor of Gwen Scott to a SCORE high school student. Moving forward to 2020, well, get ready, Nixa. We have even more exciting things planned for the Nixa Chamber. We have started our total resource campaign titled the X Games. We're also going to be starting a new thing that we feel will be the hottest ticket in town that will lead up to the annual State of the Community program. It will be 4 different strategic, intimate breakfast meetings next year, focusing on state of healthcare, state of education, state of government, and the state of our faith. It'll be featuring some very big players statewide. Also, we're going to be launching a new program called the Nixa Business Academy. These will be 8-week courses designed to help small businesses learn the basic essentials to run and operate a business, taught by local professional and guest speakers. We're also going to be launching an Adopt-a-Club program for secondary education, and in addition to our Manufacturing Day, where we helped 8th graders explore career options in local industries, this spring we're working on a Nixa Career Day in cooperation with Nixa Schools to allow our students to receive hands-on demonstrations of various career paths after high school if they're not seeking the college route, and to reinforce that we have great places to work right here in Nixa. We are also forming a public arts committee to explore ideas on how we can bring more culture to our community. And this is just to name a few of the exciting things coming in 2020 for Nixa and our Nixa Chamber. We appreciate all the support Nixa shows for its chamber and ask you to continue financially supporting our efforts as well. Thank you.
The last couple of years have been ones for transition for the city of Nixa and for our community. I think all of our new leaders have hit the ground running. I'm especially impressed by our new city administrator, Jimmy Lyles, and our new police chief, Joe Campbell, and the leadership they have brought to our city. I look forward to seeing what all these new leaders will bring to our community into the future. Nixa has continued to lay the groundwork for economic development. Recently, Council has established a facade grant program to help revitalize downtown Nixa and to help with other buildings around town. We also have continued our partnership with Show Me Christian County and Nixa Chamber of Commerce. We're working on a lot of new projects that are going to bring new jobs, new development, new businesses to Nixa, and we're going to have some exciting announcements for those items coming up soon. Council also just created the Public Arts Committee. This committee will help to create new arts projects throughout the community and will also help to beautify our city. 2019 has also continued our nearly 3 decades of incredible growth in Nixa. We've seen an additional 247 homes in 2018, and we're on pace to surpass that in 2019. In 2018, this number was enough to make us the fastest growing community in Southwest Missouri, and I hope this will continue as we move into the future. Those growing residential numbers are specifically important as we move into the 2020 census. The upcoming census will be vital as we hope to get a complete and accurate count of all the residents in Nixa. Those census numbers impact how much money we receive back from our federal tax dollars, and also what kind of representation we have at both the state and federal level. They also impact economic development as businesses look to see what kind of growth we've had over the last 10 years. This spring, we'll encourage everyone in Nixa to complete the census by email, by phone, or online. The city's theme for 2020 is planning. The city is working on our next 5-year strategic plan. We're also working on a comprehensive plan for the entire community. We want to identify innovative ideas and how we can improve not only as a city, but as a community. I also want to take an opportunity to brag a little bit on my city staff. The City of Nixa has earned its third consecutive Innovation Award from the Missouri Municipal League. This award is for our Think Tank program. The Think Tank is a program that allows staff from all levels of the city to come together and work on innovative solutions to city problems. As mayor, I'm extremely proud of our innovative reputation and the recognition we receive from that from across the state.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Lyles, the City Administrator for the City of Nixa. You know, we've had a lot of great things happening across our community over the last year. 2019 was a very busy year, and that momentum is going to continue on into 2020. You know, our Parks Department is currently in the process of developing the Nixa Master Parks Plan, which is a great opportunity for us to see exactly how our parks are going to look in the upcoming years. They've partnered with SWT Design and have been going across the community interviewing citizens to find out exactly what it is they want from our Parks Department. And of course, along with that master planning comes the development of the Oath Family Century Farm Park. The other thing the Parks Department is working very hard on is the new Nixa Dog Park. With the early rains of the spring and the early summer, unfortunately construction is a little behind, but we are looking forward to opening the Nixa Dog Park sometime in the early part of 2020. You know, we've been experiencing a tremendous amount of growth across the city. And anytime you have that kind of growth, it puts a strain on our services. And the police department is no exception to that. But I can tell you, our men and women of our police department are doing a fantastic job. Although we've had a 38% increase in calls for service, due to their hard work, we've seen an 18% decrease in motor vehicle crashes and a 20% decrease in our DWI offenses. And most recently, we were named number 20 in the safest cities across the entire state of Missouri. You know, we know that our building's getting a little tight as we add additional officers. So in the next year, we're going to partner with a firm to take a look at our police department and see what it is we need to do to expand that, to make sure that we're accommodating for any of that future growth. We're going to have to say goodbye to one of our favorite officers of all time, our canine, Yanni. You know, Yanni's been with our department for 9 years, and she's been a great addition to our department. You know, our street department has a lot of things going on right now. You know, we've partnered in a cost share program with MoDOT, and you're going to soon see construction begin on the intersections of Highway 160 and Tracker Road, as well as intersection improvements to Highway 160 and Northview Road. And of course, we've all seen the activity on 14 Highway as construction begins on the widening of 14 to the west. We're going to have 5-lane highway, including a sidewalk. So that's very exciting for our community. Coming up in 2020, those improvements are going to continue. The plans are done and construction will begin on the intersection of Highway 160 and South Street, as well as the widening of 14 Highway to the west. Also, increasing that to 5 lanes along with sidewalks. So that's going to give us a 5-lane highway from the west city limits all the way to the east city limits. We're currently starting a multi-year program to make sure that we're bringing all of our sidewalks into ADA compliance. You've probably also noticed all the activity in our downtown area. There's been a lot of growth in Nixa's downtown. And of course, with that growth comes some additional needs for parking. So we're currently in the process of designing 2 additional parking lots for the downtown area, and we anticipate those being completed sometime in 2020. You're going to soon see the construction begin on water tower number 8. This is a water tower that's going to have a 1 million gallon storage and is really going to help prepare us for any future growth that we're going to see. You know, our finance department really is the backbone of our municipal government. They do a fantastic job ensuring financial responsibility as well as transparency. Over in 2019, we were able to reduce the city's debt by $1.3 million. All these accomplishments are truly a team effort. But I do want to take a moment to recognize our finance director, Donna Swatzel. Donna's been with the city for 16 years and recently announced her retirement. So Donna will be retiring in 2020. So thank you, Donna, for your committed service to our city. You know, I'm very excited about the future of Nixa. We have some fantastic opportunities, and I am looking forward to what the future will bring.
Hi, I'm Gerald Loden, in my second year as superintendent of Nixa Schools. I'd like to welcome our community out to our State of the Community tonight. And this last year was an exciting year, and we started our second year off as on a great note. I think most people in the room can remember that we had a big ballot initiative in the spring of last year. And since that point in time, we've have been very busy planning bond projects, and just like to thank our community for supporting the ballot initiative that we had. We've updated our demographic study, and we have a long-range study that allows us to look at the growth that we'll have. And Nixa, of course, 20 years ago only had about 3,000 students. Well, this year we've reached an all-time high of 6,500 students currently. We're a community where people want to live, and they're moving here to live in our nice community, to be a part of the schools, and we're thankful that we're part of the economic engine that's driving our community's growth. We believe we can safely say we'll be opening up bids at our December board meeting for our new stadium project. As of right now, we have planned for all new bleachers that will provide max leg room for all of our stakeholders. So we'll have a new press box, we'll have a new entryway, and it'll be a lot nicer than it is currently. And then from the safety standpoint, we're planning for having a visitor side concession stand and restrooms also, so we can keep our crowds separated, especially when you have big games and large crowds. And we're excited about what the stadium's going to offer for all of our sports. You know, it's used throughout the year for multiple sports. We have track, we have soccer, we have band competitions, band practice, and football there. And it's used by also several different community groups throughout the year. The project should open up in the fall of 2020. And then we have another big project that we're working on that we talked to our taxpayers last year and stakeholders last year about is at Century. We are in the planning stages now for new classrooms to be added at Century and a multi-purpose room. And we'll be bidding it out in the spring with a tentative opening date in the fall of 2021. And then our signature project, we have some light planning occurring right now, but in the spring we'll really start dialing in on our Performing Arts Center. We'll seat at least 1,000 people. And then inside our high school, where we currently have a Performing Arts Center, we will convert that over to our band hall, and we'll renovate our current band, choir, and theater room, so we'll have more room for all of our students that are in the performing arts, vocal arts. So we're really excited about the plans that we have in place. We anticipate that the Performing Arts Center will open in 3 years from now. So for the next 3 years, we'll be very busy with our signature projects. And then along the way, we'll have some other projects that are either with bond dollars or other dollars that will be things that are not as elaborate as a Performing Arts Center per se, but like currently we have LED lights being retrofitted in all of our buildings across the district, which will give us a greener footprint, more efficiency as far as your utilities. We'll have a roof going on this summer. We completed infills, one-room infills at each summit and at High Point. And we also have new safe entries at our Early Childhood Center and High Point. Some other things that we've done that I'm very proud of, along with the school board and our administrative team. Early Childhood Center, we reached an agreement to purchase it at the end of the school year, so we'll actually own it instead of being in a position where we're renting it. And then we have just had a groundbreaking ceremony at SCORE. We've remodeled SCORE, we've purchased it, and it's also named after Glenn Scott, who's been on the school board for well over 30 years. And it's been a very busy year. You know, we hit the ground with 6,500 new students. As always, we've had great community support. Our Back to School Bash, where we partner with community agencies so to meet the needs of over 500 children at the beginning of school. And then we had this awesome chamber luncheon for our new teachers, and then we have our adopted class with our chamber. And then nationally, if you're looking at articles on mental health, I mean, you have a mental health crisis in the United States. We know that we have changes in our society that go hand in hand with our schools, and as society changes, the schools change. And we have children that have social emotional needs. And Burl is providing us with a great resource for that small group of children that we have that have these critical outlier type needs. And Burl's been a great partner. We have over 80 children that have been served now. We have multiple referrals that are out for more services. The one thing I learned last year I really liked about the Burl partnership is the fact that while we're on spring break, they're still working with the children and their families. While we're on summer break, they're still working with the children, because you just don't turn off the need for these services because you have a break. So hopefully more children will stay in the classroom. You'll have less children having to be suspended, and you'll have a very proactive tool where instead of waiting until someone's a teenager technically to be identified as needing help, we're able to identify them at an earlier age and work with them. And then we're a Cox Clinic, so We were very successful with them last year. The teachers, I believe, really benefited from them, and other staff members and their kids. Well, now we have them back for year 2, and we have clinics serving not just the students that belong to our teachers, but now all of our students at the high school, junior high, and at High Point and ESPY. So our goal is in about another 3 years or 3-year window to have them open in all schools for all children. But we're taking small steps and making sure we build capacity over time. As far as teachers, I think the buzzword the teachers will probably be talking about is PLCs, professional learning communities, where the focus this year has been learning just to, even though we collaborate very well in Nixa and share, just focus more on collaboration and sharing and working together to plan together and have common pacing and share best practices and resources so we can help our children. We know that across the nation there's a teacher shortage. And people are struggling with how do you develop future teachers, how do you attract people into the profession. And our board has really been in tune with that as far as the teacher raises last year, the clinics that we have for our employees.
The one thing that we have that we're in our first year of is we have 18 students signed up for our Teacher Academy, which we have a partnership with MSU that offers dual credit.
So we have some guys that are at the high school saying, I'd like to be a teacher, and they're already earning credit, and then they're also I've been exposed to some of the best practices in teaching and going out into the elementaries and working with kids. Being new to Nixa last year and studying Nixa, this comprehensive strategic plan and improvement process that we have in place with our CSIP. Nixa has been known for having a quality CSIP over the last 20 years. We're right now working on our 2025 plan. I believe right now we have 7 strategies and 7 teams that are working on strategies with the strategy leaders. And I can't wait just to see what, after they go through all the different ideas and start funneling them and doing a cost-benefit analysis, I can't wait to see what comes from CSIP. One that I think will resonate with the business community, which is looking at the career academies and how do you have better partnerships as far as preparing students that are ready, would like to go straight into the workforce or have micro-credentials or a 2-year technical type degree. We also have one on well-being. And with well-being, there's so many different ways that can go look at things, and then transitions, which will be very interesting as far as in time. Well, if you're looking at transitions in time, what are they going to be? I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It's nice seeing all the agencies and the high-level community support that we have, and collectively together, you know, Nixa is a wonderful place to live, and people move here for the schools, they move here for the community, and you know, by us working together and supporting our community partners and the support that we have, Nixa is going to continue to be a wonderful place, a great place for people to live, work, learn, and play.